Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Week number 3 of the CCS here. My name is joining me on the desk, and it's Crawl. Crawl, we have an absolutely incredible matchup. Two top of the table masters who are looking to seal a spot on first place. Crawl, how are we feeling going into it?
I mean, it is kind of everything you want as a viewer, you know? It's like the two undefeated teams, and not only that, these are the sister teams, so it's kind of a civil war as well. We're just kind of seeing which one is the better XSV team in general, and not only the best team in the league, pretty much, at least when it comes to series score.
Yeah, in fact, they are the only two teams that are currently still undefeated, both 3-0. The only thing that separates them is that Rush has dropped one more map. It's a 6-1, it's a 6-2, but both teams 3-0. So after today, officially, there is only going to be one undefeated team left in the entire competition. I am really looking forward to it. I think this is going to be absolutely insane. And again, it's just like you said, really nothing more you could ask for. The XSV Civil War is in full swing. I know in the banter chats and the trash talk chats, there's been a lot of back and forth. I know right now I'm seeing a lot of people pushing for Rush. I've also seen a few people pushing for Hydra. Crawl. I like to ask for predictions. I know it's probably going to be very difficult this time around because of how close these teams are. But what are we predicting? Or do you think we're going all three
Mm.
games?
Uh, personally have a curse on myself where like most of the games that I cast go to 3 games regardless. So we'll see how it goes. I just think we have to assume that it goes to 3 with both of these teams form current form. They're also starting to get into the bands, but yeah, jungle bands mainly for
Yeah,
now.
looks like it here. Obviously, J4 going through Neferi. Obviously, can be flexed towards mid, but obviously has been going in jungle a lot. Also, that Mundo is a little bit of a flex as well. Can go towards that top side as well. So I agree. Very heavy focus on the junglers.
And
We do see
have
that
you?
way. So actually, a little bit more
All
mid
right.
prio coming out here from Rush.
Yeah. Especially I'm interested in how this draft plays out because I think both teams have some like weird picks. Between the two teams, I think it's definitely Rush that plays the more I guess quote unquote weird champs. Like I know Rutledge likes picking up the Fizz, Tryndamere, Cho'Gath, like he has it in his OP.GG, but he also plays them in the comp scene as well. And not only that, Queenie, she's like one of the few junglers that like particularly is specializing in the AP carry style. Gwen, Diana, Brand, Zyra. It's almost like a couple seasons ago, but we already see the first pick. Hydra will grab the Seraphine.
Yeah. Obviously, that could technically be a flex, but you'd imagine that's going to be down on the bot side. Obviously, it's going to have a lot of CC potential. Also, does kind of tip the hand for Hydra that they're going to be focusing towards that bot side. So it's going to be a strong side bot for them, or at least you'd expect they could do a little bit of a curveball. And this is actually, I think, not bad at all coming out from Rush and something what I would expect. Obviously, if you know that your opponents are going to want to go for this stronger bot side, picking up a character like Ash, who has a really good early game potential, especially at the level 1, level 2, able to put a lot of pressure on your opponents. I think that says, hey, we know you want to be strong uh, down on bot lane. We are going to make it difficult for you to get an actual foundation there to start off. So I think that's a good pickup.
Yeah, exactly. It also kind of denies the Ashe Seraphine bot lane duo as well. It's like pretty common to see them being picked at the same time. You deny that, they also go with a Senna. So, I mean, double ranged, pretty aggressive setup, I would say. But I would only be a little bit worried if this Seraphine does go towards the AD like bot lane role. Then I think Hydra has a potential to just pick an aggressive engage support. We'll see what he goes, but I think that would be probably quite threatening. They will just go with the Scion, probably keep the flex up for a little while. I know BKP from time to time likes grabbing the Seraphine towards the mid lane as well, but I think there are some better mid lane mages that he can go for. Sutek already plays mainly AD junglers, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go for some sort of like a AD bruiser in the front line, a mage in the mid, and then just Seraphine in the bot lane to just kind of be a supportive tool there for them. They will just send it support and pick up the smolder. Might be a little bit of a hard laning phase into the Ash, but obviously Smolder just a champion where it gets his stacks. That it doesn't matter how far behind he is, he will do his job.
Yeah, absolutely. The big thing I'm going to be looking forward here to, though, is what options they're going to pick up for the early game. Because obviously, Scion, really good, can turn into a massive raid boss, but obviously takes a little bit to really get going. Obviously, Smolder, like you said, can be an absolute menace, but very reliant on those stacks. So it's going to take him a long time to really come online, and they're going to be playing for the late game. Seraphine does have a little bit more of that early game potential. Obviously, has some good CC options that can help amplify the Smolder's ability to get those stacks early. But you'd imagine they definitely want at least one champion to really have a strong early game to help carry them through it. As we do see Rutledge at least going to lock in Zahin for right now, that is going to almost certainly be the top side. That is going to be an interesting matchup into what I'm expecting to be the Scion up on top.
Yeah, I mean, it is I think one of the more favorable matchups for Zahan. Like Sion doesn't really have a kill threat. He doesn't really have a easy exit. So in any of the side lane fights, Zahan just gets to stack his passive pretty easily. So it's just like a lane where Zahan will have the lead and can scale into pretty well, just like Sion. Um, it's also a great takeaway from Hydra because I'm pretty sure Zahan is the most played champion for Sutek, so it forces him towards something that he's probably less comfortable. My only issue for Queenie's Kittens is that they don't really have a realistic engage other than possibly an Ash Arrow right now. So I'm just expecting them to either go for a more poke oriented, which would not really fit the team that they have right now, or they have to just pick some hard engage on the jungle. I know Queenie likes playing Jarvan, but it's banned, so the options are really limited when it comes to what you can pick for as far as engage goes for both of these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. As we do see those final bans come through, besides the Kane, very heavy presence in the bans for mid lane AP champions. That's Ari, Vel'Koz, as well as Xerath going down. That Kane also obviously is just a little bit more targeting towards Sutek there, just trying to choke away as many options in the jungle as possible. I mean, I imagine here. I mean, there's still plenty of different AP mid laners to go through, but those are some of the best,
Use
including some
Sejuani.
artillery mages. Sejuani, okay, I
I
do
mean,
like that pick. Obviously, not
that is
terribly strong right
engage.
now. It is engaged though. That's the big thing I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
There's multiple means of getting some CC, and
Mm,
especially that ultimate is a big engage tool. So
yeah. I mean, for Hydra side, I'm not. I don't even hate playing into the Sejuani. Like you have a bunch of options. You can go Trundle. You can still go Xin Zhao with Seraphine. You'll be able to like tank a lot of damage in the front line. Wukong is still okay as well. And then like mid lane can be anything at this point. Yeah, Mel. I think it's
no,
pretty good. Sejuani. You're just like you're not under threat off the ulti as much. Same with the Ash Arrow, and you can reflect them as well, which should provide a little bit extra safety for them in the mid lane. Obviously, Rutledge will have the matchup of his liking with his champion pool. I don't know. Maybe we can see some interesting matchup in with this R5.
yeah, definitely difficult. I
Victor.
mean, Mel is a pretty intense champion to be going into. There's not many options to kind of take her down, and I think Victor is a good one. Obviously, a lot of scaling built in, so I actually like the scaling of the rush side. I mean, obviously, I think Senna and Victor are the two bigger scaling of the five, and I think they're going to be those late game threats. I mean, I say that actually Senna's going to be in the support role, so I don't know if Senna's going to do as much. So it's mostly going to be down to that Victor, but that will be a threat later on to the game. But I do still worry looking down the barrel of this Hydra composition that just seems really strong. Mel obviously scales pretty well into the game, and then you have Smolder as well as Scion, who could just be an absolute menace and a raid boss in into themselves. This feels like the kind of game where you have to have control of it by the middle by mid game, or else you're going to lose control of it in late game if you're Rush.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And like, although we said like Sejuani is engaged, I think the only issue that I see with it is just like when it comes to these late game scenarios, Sejuani's ulti is not really a backline access, so it is going to be really hard to like get on the Seraphine, get on the Smolder, like even like threaten the Mel. So like you're trying to pretty much pick Wukong off like in some spots where he's overextended, but obviously he has the Cyclone to get himself out, like for the knockups, and his own obviously his own clone as well. So like Rush has to really like they will have a lead in the early game if they use it smart, get good rotations on the map, use it to maybe get some early dragons, force Hydra to fight them before these like crucial breakpoints that we talked about, like Smolder getting his stacks or Scion getting all of the HP stacking that he would like to be in the front line. That should be the win con. Like Rush should just try to get Soul, get some like advantage in the early game, and try to use it to finish out this game. If this drags out and you don't have any Dragon Soul, it is going to be really hard for Rush to finish out. But I mean, they're not they're the best team like score wise in the league. So if there's a team that can probably execute this comp, it should be them.
Yeah, I agree. I do worry, especially because it also feels like for Rush, the win conditions are so clear that Hydra are going to have the opportunity to really plan around that. Makes me think that we're going to see a lot of fighting to prevent them from getting that Drake stacking, prevent them from getting those pieces that you already mentioned. That is going to be necessary for Rush to get that win. It feels like Hydra are going to be in a position where not only can they win just by getting late into the game, but also by denying those early game pieces. Because while they are going to be better in the late game, they're not going to be required to do so if they just do not let Rush build a lead early, if that makes sense. Their composition is still good, even in the mid. It's just not absolutely insane like it's going to be in the late game.
Uh, so I think we should be fine to send over to a small break before we get into the game with both of these rosters on the map and see how the game one shapes.
Two teams, top of the table. The Civil War has begun. XSV Hydra versus XSV Rush. And we are getting underway here in game number one. Crawl, what are we seeing as these two teams take to the rift?
Yeah. I mean, we're just seeing best of the Group B, but not only that, we're seeing two completely different drafts. On one side, we have Rush, who is pretty much looking to keep control of this early game with a strong bot lane, double ranged, the ADC, much more aggressive pick, especially with the Sejuani paired up with the Zahin up top as well. They will be able to create a lot of pressure in the early game. If they can use that, finish out the game, I mean, it will be the game plan. But on the other side, if they let this Hydra squad scale, it is going to get really rough come late game with these Smolder sacks. And we already see it from the starting items as well. Smolder actually going for the Dorn's Helm, the tank item, which is not really common when we look at what most ADCs start. I think I personally would probably still go to Dorn's Blade, but
Yeah, a little bit of a change up there in that regard. But as we do get started, right now, nothing too crazy. We do see Matt take a little bit of damage there, definitely losing out on that trade overall, which is going to force this XSV Hydra team on the bot side to be a little bit more passive, notably, though, for the junglers, both starting on the bot side of the map. So they're going to be making their way towards top. I mean, we're going to see maybe a little bit of presence towards that top side early, but with that as well, it does mean that they're going to be fighting over that same scuttle. So that might be a little bit of a skirmish that we get in just about a minute's time. But right now, back and forth we go. It looks like between the three lanes, two, the top and mid, more pushed up into the favor of XSV Hydra, at least early on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised how Espada was able to get push and even got an early recall, grabbed himself a call, and yeah, especially when you have two double ranged bot sides, you just kind of expect, as a jungler, it's like you just know that it's really hard because you don't have gank setup from either lane, maybe a little bit from the rush side, but Hydra, you pretty much don't even want this lane to be volatile, so Sutek clearing up top, just covering the Sejuani's potential ganks in the top side. I will say they might want to be careful just because, like a melee champion with a Sejuani, that is a lot of strength, especially in the early game. Queenie is on vision. Might actually get double crabbed here. Sutek is going to
Yeah.
take his tempo recall, but he is pinging for the crab. So, especially with BK already getting his reset as well, I think it might just be a double crab for Sutek in the early game, which should give him a small advantage for an earlier level 6.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zahan does come down there to put that ward down as well. So we'll see the fact that the scuttle was taken regardless. So that is going to be a big play. Like you said, is going to definitely help them out a little bit, at least leading into level 6 territory. As we see both junglers making their way down towards this bottom side. And looks like they're trying to catch Angel off guard, but unable to do so. Sutek having to back away, though, as Sejuani has also made an appearance. And Angel, while taking a little bit of damage there, still, I don't think even as low as Maddie. So they're going to continue to stay in lane and continue to push this, though Sutek still hanging out. Oh, Angel taking a little bit
Angel?
of damage. Sutek using some abilities there just to chase them down, close that gap. In the end, Angel's able to get out. Kuzu getting stunned under their own turret. Topside definitely going in favor of the Scion, at least early.
Yeah, Spada is playing this matchup really well. Creating this much of a CS lead this early on in what essentially is a counter matchup is pretty good news for the side of Hydra, especially with the Sejuani pathing up as well. I would only think that Kuzu would be able to create more pressure, maybe force Espada to be in this bad spot, but Espada's been playing well, good wave management. I think is the most important thing when it comes to top lane. Especially in the soul lanes, it's pretty much matchup knowledge and then just wave management. So Spot is doing a great job for that. Now, the first dragon is up for takes, and with how much pressure this rush bot lane has been able to take for the first 5 minutes, I would have to assume Queenie will be looking to grab that one. Especially being a mountain, a good single dragon, it will scale into the late game as well. Ulti is popped by Espada. I don't know if he wants to take a really extended fight with level 6 on Zahan with passive as well. I think Kuzu likes his chances
Yeah.
with this fight.
Yeah, notably there, does a little bit of damage, trying to chase them back. Espada getting relatively low. Kuzu with
Gets
the
it.
drag back, and that is going to force the pot out. Oh, big
He
play,
is.
but just not quite enough damage in the end. We do see that Drake getting started. You are absolutely right. The pressure from the bot lane is just too much. We also have the come down from the Victor, so it's going to be all four in the Drake pit. And I don't think there's really anything Hydra can do. I mean, they are going to try a
Oh,
little
he
bit of
can look for
zoning
the
out, but
steal.
Tech.
Oh, he
Oh my
does get
lord, a
it.
massive steal. Ed is going to be
Yeah.
able to flash back over the wall to get away. What a nice help out there to give them over that Drake. Massive play from the Wukong as That is going to be the denial of the first strike over to Rush.
I mean, that is just the upgraded smite difference as well. Like, Sutek, there's some small advantages that you can create small advantages for yourself, and it is just one of those things where, oh, you might even actually get a solo kill. Flesh burned. Oh,
Kuzu barely gets
Espada.
away there.
Yeah,
Very sketchy moment for them, but it is going to be
level
something at
6
least. As
available.
Sutek's up, is going to throw through with the clone, do a little bit of damage. Airborne
Oh,
there. Encore goes out, but multiple flashes used to get out of dodge, and that's a lot of investment there from the entirety of the Rush bot lane to not get caught up in that. That could have been disastrous, but instead it's just expensive.
yeah, it is expensive, and about these plays where you burn both of your flashes in the bot lane, ultis tend to come up much faster. Maddie does have
Oh,
flash and cleanse. Oh, Sutek going back up. No
Vault.
flash from Walter.
Yeah, Volta goes down, and now in this 3v2. Oh, actually, the Wukong falls. That's going to be huge. A kill that goes over to the Ashe as well. That is going to be a massive boost for them, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 after all that chaos. Blew up on mid lane. That's a huge pick. Rutledge to fall, or excuse me, Rutledge to find that pick. That is massive. We do see the Senna ultimate. Maybe a little bit late for that engage. But that is going to be a lead now for Rush as that sneaky one-man kill on the mid lane.
DK did have flash there, but I think he just didn't want to be. I think he's more so scared that if he burns the flash, it might cost him more later. He was more than likely maybe dead to the burn regardless, so he did go for it. We're gonna get the replay of the play in the bot lane with the kill. Walter walks up a little bit too much. Obviously, Sutek gets Sidrani ulted. He was forced to burn the flash when he stole the dragon, so he does end up going down as well. But I think overall, with Sutek like blowing the flashes in the first play and then getting a kill, they will have plenty opportunities in the next 3 minutes to get a little bit more on that bot lane. And Espada is doing really well on the other side of the map. Like, you're up 10 CS. You might lose grubs, but I mean, you got the first dragon. Like, it
Yeah.
should still be okay. We do see some pressure up towards the top side from the Sejuani, but Kuzu getting low. No flash this time. Espada also doesn't have flash, but lands the stun. He's gonna able to get the kill.
Yeah, just not able to do enough. Does pop the refilling pop there. Is not going to get anything really out of it. We do see Queenie hovering around that mid space, but same with Sutek. So this could be a little bit of a skirmish here. Rock at a hard place is BKB, though we see Melk coming back into it, especially as they now have the Wukong to try to help out. Queenie does not get hit by that stun, but the stun does land on the Sutek. Low health bars is going to get taken away. Massive kill there. Also going over the Rutledge. The Victor really starting to come online now.
Yeah, getting a little bit greedy after Sutek does the initial engage, gets Rutledge's flash, but he wanted to get a little bit more and then ends up staying overextended. Oh, great combo from Maddie's handbag. And they finish it up with a kill. Walter really low, gets the ulti off. He's 1 HP. And Maddie's handbag is going to clean up. Damn.
Low
Surfing Gaming.
health bars. The low health bars, but neither one of them fall. That is going to be a massive win for them. It's going to give them the advantage in terms of kills in general. And Espada with a massive stun up there, though Kuzu still doing relatively fine. But Espada is just doing such a good job at denying Kuzu that time and space.
He might
Goes
actually get-
in. Zion's gonna go CC immune, but the health bar is so low. With Sejuani now is gonna get that stun. Can they find the pick? But no, Espada just has to back away. Are they just gonna try to take out Kuzu before they get finally taken out? No. It's very sketchy. Espada is now the one in control. Queenie's getting low.
he likes his odds in the 2v1. And Yeah, Kuzu just too far behind right now. He is trying to get towards his Triforce, but from the... Oh, we get a replay of the Bob play. Great ulti from the slow from Maddie. And then, I mean, it was really close towards the end. Walter gets the ulti off, lives for split more second, but great flash from Maddie. And Maddie's handbag lands the final Q to get the kill. Espada is probably going to look to reset soon. Kuzu being back in the lane full HP. Might be a bit greedy from Espada. I don't think there
Yeah.
will be any kill angles for Kuzu.
They're going to try to go in on Rutledge here, and they are just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at him, and that is going to be a pickup. BKB to get the final hit. Queenie, unfortunately, getting caught up in that just a little bit too late to the party, however. It's going to take a lot of damage on the way out. Going to have to forfeit that scuttle, and that's going to be control of this bottom side with Drake up. So you'd imagine, yeah, Wukong's going to immediately make their way into the pit. So it is going to see the convergence of the bot side and Sejuani. And that is going to spot them. Are they going
Yeah.
to try to interrupt? Everyone's packed into the back
They
of
have
the
the
pit,
Asher.
however. Okay.
Oh, TP is coming to close them off. They will have to make a decision or they have to leave.
Okay.
BKP?
Looks like leaving is the option here, as a lot of damage is being done, choking out Angel. It is going to be the arrow, but that is an encore that lands one. The stun onto Angel makes this very difficult, as you are missing your ADC, and that is going to be another pick.
Oh.
Man, Volter taking a lot of damage off the back of that Mel, but there's no more picks, no more kills to be found. It's going to be a one for none, plus the Drake, all in favor of Hydra. They're going to try to make it costly, as Rutledge is going to do some serious damage to this mid-tier 1, but you'd imagine that is all Hydra all day, and they're going to be happy with that team fight win.
Yeah, and I think overall, it hasn't been the best looking game from Sutek up until now, but I mean, when you look at what he's accomplished, I think it is actually a W for him because you steal the first dragon, you're able to secure the second one, and even though he died like overextended in a couple of these ganks, every single gank actually turned into something other than the one in the mid lane. And as we said, the Espada just pays a visit to the mid lane. But like he's been able to blow the flash from Rutledge and then get the kill on the next gank. Blow the flashes from bot lane. As we say, Walter blows another flash and this time goes down.
Vulture just gets deleted as they run into Sutek. That is going to make Sutek 2-2-2. And yeah, this is looking incredibly good for Hydra. Sutek as well doing a really good job at setting their team up. I mean, right now, I think the biggest downside is Kuzu gets out here, right? I imagine Kuzu gets out. The biggest downside is the fact that the Seraphine has gotten the 3 kills on the bot side. However, even just going 0-0-4 is good for the Smolder, as it's giving them time to stack up without dying. So, while it's not amazing, it's still not bad. As we see a little bit of a skirmish breakout on this top side, Kuzu has to be very careful, or they might just be gone. Has to flash away, and is going to live with scrapes of health left.
That might actually be like the 5th flash that Sutek was able to burn.
Oh,
this
no!
match. Oh, greed.
Greed. And the thing is Sutek is here, so they're going to be able to go back in if they want. Espada is not going to get punished for that at all. It is going to be able to get behind to start dealing with that next wave. So this is great for them. Going to deny that recall from Queenie as well. This is going perfect for this top side.
I don't think you're ever diving that, but I think Sutek will have an angle to play for the Herald here. And to be honest, yeah, like as you mentioned, I think the Smolder is happy being 0-0-4 into an Ashe lane. You're just scaling. I think he's already at 125. I wonder where he's at. I would, if he's around the 10 stacks per minute, that is almost perfect. And especially with the Essence Reaver completed, he's not having mana issues anymore. And they're even pushing this Ashe Senna lane back quite a bit. Especially,
Yeah.
I mean, they did get a lot of games, but hey, it works, it works.
Yeah, I mean, The biggest thing though is that we talked about how good this Hydra team was going to be at scaling into the late game and how important it was that Rush get control of the game early, and they just have not been able to do so. There's about what, a seven, or excuse me, a 3K gold lead between the two rosters. So okay, Spada just gonna go directly under turret. Does not matter. Slowly becoming that raid boss, by the way, up on the top side. But Rush have just not been able to really get a grasp of this game, and now a lot of their key pieces for Hydra that are going to be problems for them in the late game are starting to really come online. Like you said, the Smolder is pretty much exactly where they want to be. They'd be greater with those 3 kills, but even being 0-0-4 is really good for them. So right now, Rush need to drastically turn and flip this game on its head. They need a massive team fight win to give themselves a bit of an injection to keep them into this matchup as it gets later and later.
Yeah. I think what they
Drift.
need. Oh, yeah. Okay, Sutek
That's
does
correct.
have his driver's license, and Angel is extended. Might just go down.
Okay.
Sutek follows with the flash.
Yeah, Sutek goes in, is able to find the one of the Ash. The ADC is missing. TP's coming into. Espada is now in and amongst the mix. The raid boss has arrived. Encore lands onto the one.
Zion in
Number
the back
3
line.
having to run into the back line. But Zahen is doing so much work in the back. Is able to find 2. Now BKB, you'd imagine, is not long for the world. Triple
Oh
kill for the
my
Zahen.
goodness.
Espada has done so well, and now suddenly it feels like that lead is gone as Kuzu comes alive on the bot lane, and they are immediately going to turn to look at this Drake, and there is pretty much nothing Hydra can do but watch.
Yeah, it started off good, but I think they just didn't see Kuzu's TP. Everyone just was like, they just kept walking forward, and by the time Kuzu was there, everyone was 1 HP. I don't even think he had to do much, but 3 kills for the Zahen that was struggling for the majority of this game is going to be crucial. Yeah, like you see, Maddie is already down to 1 HP. Maddie's handbag also 1 HP, and Kuzu is just able to get his fully stacked passive and then pick up the 3 kills. I mean, I don't think, if I'm Hydra, I don't think it's like the end of the world, but you just really need to be careful how you approach this game. There, yes, we said Hydra's comp does scale, but we
Yeah.
did say that Hydra does outscale, but Victor and Zahan are not really champs to scuff over when it comes to late game. They do a lot of damage, and
Bro forces out the cleanse to stay up and alive. They're trying to take this skirmish, but they are heavily targeting Maddie. Maddie getting away with just no, will not be taken away. That is going to be 1-for-1. Massive stun up onto the back line. Espada acting as that raid boss, the shield for the rest of the team. It's chaotic, but in the end, it's a 1-for-1 as the Baron takes the rift.
yeah, and I will say, like, the first few ones I didn't mind, but I feel like we want some of these kills to be going on the Smolder. I mean, Smolder was dead, but at least on the Wukong and not the Seraphine. A lot of kills now getting put on Maddie's backpack, but I mean, Angel overextends trying to kill Maddie, which I think Maddie was already dead, and Sutek punishes it pretty well. Maddie's handbag does get the final hit with the last E. And nothing else really happens after that. I think BK was able to also pay a visit to Kuzu there. And even though the triple kill happened, it looks like Espada is still on a pretty chill vibe in the top side. He is about to finish his Thornmail. And Kuzu is not really able to put a lot of pressure on Espada for the time being. But I think getting the dragon at least doesn't allow Hydra to get more time, because once you get the 3rd dragon, you start getting the option of like, yeah, we can give one, like if they're in a good spot. Kuzu trying to take the fight. I don't know if he wins this.
No, that was a weird fight. That one felt like Espada was always going to win. I don't know why there was so much invested. Espada's just gonna walk up, bye-bye turret, nice chunk of gold, and that is going to set them up pretty darn well, especially when Baron is still in play. I don't know if there is a Baron play for them here quite yet, but at least maybe gives them the opportunity. Drake up in about a minute and 50 seconds, so if they're not going to make their way towards top of the Baron, you'd imagine there's going to be a little bit of time spent setting up for a potential Drake play, because Soul Point would feel pretty good. So it looks like we might get a bit of a skirmish here. Queenie doesn't even know they're walking in. Heavy target on the Rutledge onto the back line, but it's leaving a lot. Huge charm coming out onto Angel. That's going to separate the ADC, but it's chaos across the entire rift. BKP finds Rutledge, mid laner v mid laner, ends up for the side of Hydra this time around. And now with Zahen here, they're going to try to interrupt. It's going to deny the means to get back towards the turret. Chaos comes through. Mel putting down some serious damage, but Kuzu's now chasing down BKP, running out of health. Kuzu might not make it out of this alive. Does get the passive, is going to be able to survive. How much health they're going to come back with. They're waiting patiently. Does not get hit. That pullback. BKB is dead. It's chaos. But now look how far back Kuzu is. But Queenie's chasing them in with the help of the Senna. You'd imagine now it has to be a pullback angle. But the rest of the team is re-arriving. Angel's already respawned and back into the fray.
If Angel and Volter will do interesting flash from Espada, but I don't think Espada is just so strong. The only fights that are just looking bad for Hydra are the ones where they're just not paying attention to their flank. Like Maddie and Maddie's handbag, they just like they're so focused on what's happening in front of them that they're just like not seeing what's happening from Kuzu. Like another TP, a great TP flank from Kuzu there. And initially, great ulti from Maddie Sandbag. He's able to take a lot of these members at low HP. Sutek chases Angel. Espada holding so many people, but again, just not paying attention to the TP. And Kuzu plays it pretty well. Gets his ulti off last second to get some extra damage on BK. And we already have another fight happening.
Yeah, they're throwing everything at Espada. The wall of meat is just not able to be taken out. We do see the ultimate come through. Doesn't particularly land on any member, but it does isolate Kuzu, who does get knocked airborne. They're throwing everything at the Zahen. Forces that piece of utility out. Meanwhile, Queenie stuck into an awkward spot, now stunned up themselves. So many Qs. That's a huge charm! That finds score! And that might just be the death knell for this fight as they go in. Queenie the fall. Volter as well falls, and it is just chaos as a double kill goes into the hands of Mel and Hydra. Oh my, they absolutely take control once more. A big injection of gold and another Drake run.
Yeah, I mean, we had people in the Twitch chat saying that they were a Seraphine fan and they hope the Seraphine wins, and Seraphine has been delivering this whole game. I think I haven't seen a single bad ulti from Maddie Sandbag. They play this pretty well. They're just using their range, pushing them off, using Espada as the meat shield to tank them off. And that ward gives the vision of the backline, and Maddie Sandbag finds the perfect ult into the Scion Q. Perma CC, Sutek follows it, and they just clean up the fight. The late game skill and comp that we talked about from Hydra is just popping off in the early to mid game, and it is just not looking too good for Rush's chances to win this game. We already see 2.5 items completed on the Smolder, 2 items completed on everyone across the board for Hydra, and they're getting really close to their thirds. On the other side, this Ashe, 2 items, but 2 pretty cheap items. Same for the Senna. So even though, yes, on some way they are even in items, these are not the same items. So
yeah, and I think the biggest problem is Espada right now. As it looks like, is this gonna be just a fair? No, they're just gonna clear it out. Espada is so clearly the biggest threat on the board. Even if Espada is not the character that is constantly getting the kills, just an absolute raid boss at the moment. Oh, they're just going to immediately try to find Sutek, take them out of the board, and Sutek barely maybe getting away, getting caught up in the W there, but doesn't go down quite yet. That is a lot of low health bars, and Maddie's in the area. We even see the execute line come up onto Queenie, but after all of that, That is not going to be any member falling for either team, but Tech now really low. Does not matter. They're going to start
Yeah.
this Baron. They're going to try to turn it, I think.
Yeah, I think they're feeling pretty comfortable, especially with pretty much no ults from the side of Rush. No Victor ult, no Ashe, no Senna, and Senna is not the champion that can walk up and grab Vision the easiest either. So they're feeling pretty comfortable. The Seraphine shields and heals will keep Sutek healthy enough, and they will get the Baron, and they this will put them in a really comfortable spot on the map for the next 2 minutes. And once those 2 minutes are over, they will have a soul available for them for the taking. We see the gold graph as well, 3k gold difference in the jungle, and pretty much leads everywhere on the map other than the mid lane. But that small difference for Rutledge's benefit in the mid lane is not going to change too much.
Yeah, and it's only 700 gold difference right now between them, which
Yeah.
like if that does sound like a lot, but in the retrospect of how much gold is currently in the game's economy, it's really not all that crazy. And Mel has been doing some incredible work. It has kind of just been the two mid laners during a lot of these fights, kind of ignoring each other and just putting out some serious damage because they both do so much work. But like you said, with Baron, this is now a matter of a siege, and they're gonna have this wave to come through. It's gonna be a four-man push through. They're gonna try to find the opportunity here. Kuzu is gonna get rooted. It might be enough. They might have enough burst potential. Has to ult away, not
Oh,
able to
I
do
think they
so.
shoot it.
Kuzu's gonna fall. It's gonna be a 5v4 now, and this could be devastating for Rush as they are now down a man. And I have a sneaky suspicion Hydra is not going to let them breathe in that circumstance.
Yeah, they'll just let Espada push the top side with the Baron, get that tier 2, and to be honest, you don't have the easiest wave clear on the side of Rush. Your only wave clear is this Victor, and you don't have access to these cannon minions, so the cannons will just be doing a lot of tick damage on this turret. They will move Rutledge over now, and to be honest, with how Espada's been playing, you might even see him ulti down this mid lane.
Okay, Maddie's becoming a problem. We can
Oh,
just see how much damage they do, and then we see Sutek jump over the wall. They are just going to eviscerate their opponents. That might just be the game. Falco certainly believes it to be the case, as they're going to take that tier 2, or excuse me, tier 3, and they're going to go hunting. They have the wave, they have the time, they have the members. Kuzu's going to do everything they possibly can, but it's going to get deleted in a second, and that is going to be game 1 done and dusted in a matter of moments at the very end there.
Yeah, and I think it was really well played from the beginning to the end. Sutek just made work in the bot side. Like, yes, there were some sus plays. I think it looked pretty interesting, to say the very least, with his decision making early on. But when it comes to effectiveness, there was literally no doubt he was really effective in every single gank. Blue flashes mid, blue flashes bot, and they were able to punish it every single time. Even the bot lane play that we first got a replay off of, where Maddie Sandbag was able to catch two of them and get a double kill. It is just going like it just made it so that the scaling comp had the ample time to pick up some pace, and a spot in the top lane as well. Like you're just
Yeah.
stomping your laner in an R5 matchup that they chose to go into the Scion, and you just you just pretty much just win the game for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do think, as important as the bot side were, in order to get the bot side in a position where they were able to do that much damage and have that much impact, it really was off the back of having that strong side top, Espada constantly being able to come down and be that raid boss, and Sutek being those big playmakers. Those top side, the jungle and top side, were just so critical for the success there in game number 1. But of course, this is a best of 3, so we are not done and dusted yet. The Civil War has not been decided quite yet, but Hydra have certainly put a bit of a stake in the ground to say, hey, we're taking that spot. But with all that, we are going to be sending over to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Game number 2 will be back in just a couple of minutes. Game number one goes to XSV Hydra, and I don't want to say dominant, but very, very convincing fashion crawl. And this time around, we are not slowing down the pace as we are already underway. First wave of bans already through, as we're seeing the first picks as well follow up afterwards.
Yeah, and if I'm not wrong, I think these are exactly the same band. So both teams pretty happy with how their draft went. Maybe they just said, okay, we drafted well. It was just the oopsies in the gameplay, and we see that maybe it kind of similar approach coming from the both sides. Rush going for the Jin, going for the Zyra. I mean, obviously a difference in the jungle. I'm pretty sure that will be going towards Queenie, but Jin picked up another utility heavy ADC, and on the other side, we see the scaling ADC, the scaling top laner, and the AD jungler coming from Hydra side. A lot of comforts picked up. Espada, I've actually played with him before. Um he plays really well on these tanks, Scions, the Orns, and these are champions that if you're not paying good attention, they will just kill you. Like these are not you're just like, oh yeah, just come hit me type of things. They will just kill you. And we saw that what Espada did last game. And I think Ornn does just the same, if not more damage than Sion when he
Yeah,
gets ahead. So
he's very scary. Or Orin can absolutely kind of catch you off guard if you are not careful. The big thing for me is the Kane. Also, just as a reminder, Hydra is actually staying on the same side, so Hydra is going to remain on blue side here. Um, we do see that Kane get picked up, which was in the second wave of bans during game number one. We're already seeing a little bit of a change up for both sides here as Milio is going to get banned away. As obviously, there's still no support picked for the side of Hydra, though I think that's totally fine with them. The Milio getting banned, I think Milio is just one of the best enchanters in the game at the moment. So denying that really good enchanter to go alongside Jinx, who is probably going to want an enchanter, I think is good. We're seeing the Fizz ban away. We're seeing the Syndra. Neither side has a mid lane pick quite yet, so not surprised to see both of them, especially with how good BKB and Rutledge did in that last game. Really good at doing a lot of damage during those team fights. I'm not surprised to see both teams saying, "Hey, let's take some of the big hitters off the board."
exactly. I mean, I really like the Milio ban just because you're also playing Maokai. Not only that Milio is good with Jinx, it also just cleanses the Maokai ult, which is like pretty much why you pick Maokai other than the saplings. Which I'm assuming that Maokai should be going to support more than likely, but I still see a world where Hydra just go for something like Emilio, and, not Emilio, sorry, Emilio's banned, Lulu, and then just play the lane out, give some a little bit more power to this Jinx with an Enchanter. We see the Mordekaiser get picked up. A great matchup into the Ornn, but there's a lot of AP damage on the side of Rush, and yeah, I mean that will mean that they will go for the Galio. I wonder what Rutledge is going to look to play unless they're looking for some sort of like a Mordekaiser flex pick into the mid lane. I don't know if you really want to play that into the Galio
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
and the
think
Bard.
I think that may have been what they were initially planning, but that Galio does kind of throw the wrench into the entire plan because I don't think Mordekaiser's going to do good into that lane whatsoever. Definitely makes you wonder. I wonder if that's why we're getting a little bit of a delay here on what Walter is going to pick. Because right now, or up to this point, they've been pretty consistently picking pretty quickly. It
Yeah,
looks like Yone, which again technically could be flexed up to that top side, but I do think
yeah.
typically is found home in mid. There's
It
a
should
lot of
also be
different
an okay matchup.
options.
It should be an okay
There's
matchup into the Galio.
yeah, it should be pretty good. There's a lot of flexibility on the side of of Rush.
Yeah,
I think almost every one of them, except for the Jin, can be flexed into one role or another. Meanwhile, I think this is just a really good composition for the side of Hydra. I think the Kane is going to be a real big problem. I believe Red Kane is still like the go-to, so we'll have a little bit more of a bruiser option who can still get access to that back line with a lot of protection from the Galio as well as the Ornn to keep the Jinx safe. as well, who is just going to be able to just melt any front line that tries to step up to challenge their two tanks in front of them. And then Bard obviously has a lot of playmaking ability. So I actually really like this composition from Hydra. I think they have good engage, good damage, good split of AP and AD. As we take a look at the full roster here, I really like this composition.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I think like the it is a really similar draft from Queenie's Kittens, where in the sense that you don't really have any backline access other than if this Yon hits a big ulti, and I just don't see it happening unless there's some big positioning mistake from Maddie. Just because you just have so much people in the front line that will create space for you that like this Yone cannot just walk up and just like, yeah, let me just ult you. Like if he's walking up, there's a Galio in front of him. There will be a Bart that is threatening his stun. That you're just walking into a Kane that when if he chooses to go the red form will have a knock up. And Ornn is not the easiest champion to just like push him off. Like you're playing a Jhin, so you're just not gonna have that DPS from your ADC either. So when it comes to these fights, if the laning phases go similar, it is going to be really hard for Queenie's Kittens to really make a lot of impact in these fights. What I like for their odds this game is that Kane is not a similar champion into Wukong, where like you just have to flash him at level 6. Like he will come through the wall, he will be a little annoying, but he's not as scary when he ganks until he gets
Yeah.
his form. So you will have a little bit less pressure, but once the form comes through, then you have to be really on top of your game because every time you gank, if when a Kane gets accelerated, it is never a fun experience for the team that is playing against it.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think the only other thing I could really think to that could be a real problem for the side of Hydra is going to be the Mordekaiser ultimate. The ability just to completely isolate one member, I think could be a serious problem if they land it on someone important. The biggest problem is I think the only real important target that could really be dealt with in that realm would be Maddie on the Jinx, but Jinx also has a lot of mobility kind of baked in. And as long as Maddie is pretty good at ducking out of skill shots, I think Maddie would be able to survive that. It's more about the positioning of the fight. After the realm drops, I think is going to be the biggest problem for them. But I think that's really the only threat because Sutek, again, probably going red, is going to be able to sustain through that. And obviously, two other tanks. I guess maybe Bard, but I don't know if Bard's going to be crucial enough for team fights to be a primary target. So I think that's going to be the only other real big threat. But with that being said, spectator delay, of course, is always a thing. So we are going to send it over to a quick intermission. And when we are back, we are going to be jumping right into game number 2 to see if Rush can take us to a game 3 or if Hydra's going to close it out in 2. Don't go anywhere. Game number 2 is getting underway. Hydra take game 1 in convincing fashion, and now it is up to Rush to try to stop the 2-0. We've already seen a little bit of a change up in terms of the draft, but we are still worried about the popper initiation tools for these fights. Crawl, are we seeing anything different here as we get into game number 2 from how we started in game number 1?
It is pretty much the same setup. I'm just so surprised that Maddie went for the Dorn's Helm again. I wonder if this is like a tech now, just because, like, I guess like if when you think you're in a matchup that you don't like, you want to play some a little bit more defensive like items. But I think when you're playing the double range side of it, I don't know why you would want to play the Helm over the D blade, or like let's say you don't want the bow because it's really squishy, but you see Sutek going for a cheese early, and he does get the camp as well. He gets all of the raptors. And Sutek looking to pay a visit again to Queenie. I think he's wrapping around. Another fight in the bot lane.
Yeah, notably a little bit of a skirmish in the bot lane. A lot of low health bars there. Notably Maddie's handbag. A flash having to be used, but look at the damage. Counter flash from Angel, but it's immediately used to then back away. Very, very low health bars. Meanwhile, that little skirmish up towards the top of the map, that does cost the Yone a lot of time. Oh, stunned up. Do they have the damage to close it out? Angel low. Yes, they will. First blood, though, goes over to the bar. Does not get into the Jinx's pockets.
At least even the kills on Maddie's handbag trend is keeping up from game 1. And I mean, it's probably you're happy if you're the side of Rush. Oh my god, Walter.
Oh, Maddie's so low, and
Oh.
okay, Maddie's handbag just finds a second one.
He is just the carry at this point. I mean, I would assume, I think like at least on a Bard, these kills can be really annoying. Like Bard, especially with the electrocute ignite setup, that champion does some damage. Like even when you go, yeah, he's going for the deadmans, the champion is disgusting. So he
Yeah.
gets the movement speed item, like plus gives him some tankiness. He might start roaming a little bit as well. We see him maybe a mid. We will go to the bot play again. This is the earlier fight where both bot laners were forced to burn the summoner spell, and Maddie does prop the ghost. Doesn't have barrier, so I was really surprised when they walked back in. They do hit the level 2, and I think Angel and Walter just did not respect. Great Q flash coming from Maddie. Forces the barrier, still gets the kill. Walter lives really low HP, and I don't even know what he's trying to do here, to be honest. He just
Yeah,
he just want to
definitely need to
flex,
back
get
away.
some farm, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely
know.
should have just backed off. I mean, doesn't even get any farm, just stands there, does kind of interrupt that wave, but that's really it. That does not stop the push out. We lost CS and all, and that means that this bot lane is now firmly in the hands of Hydra, even if the kills did not go over to the Jinx. Still gets a little bit of gold in the pocket. Meanwhile, we're also seeing nothing too big change up on the top side as Kuzu is now kind of getting bullied by Espana, but just now on the Ornn and Mordecai here this time around. Mid lane continues to be a little bit more back and forth, but I'd imagine Yone is going to continue
So,
to be a little bit more of
for
a
a gank.
threat early on.
Yeah,
Oh,
Suthic
nope.
looks for the gank and just grabs it.
Yeah, not gonna keep being the threat when they're gone. Great screen for the
Yeah.
Yone.
Yeah, and no TP means he will lose some of the CS more than likely. And it's like just great job from Suthic, punishes Rutledge when he's overextended trying to overplay. And like even at the top lane, I wasn't even paying attention. Espada is up 11 CS, 12 CS in this quote unquote bad matchup. And I mean, it just has to be just being able to last the minions better at this point. I don't think there's any other reason for Kuzu to pretty much be behind. Great ult.
Plus the Kane going in, and that is
Let's
gonna
go.
force out the ultimate. And it does not matter.
He wins
Ornn
that?
gets the pick. Yeah, Ornn gets the win there. That is insane. As we do see Queenie, you mentioned between games that Zyra has just been kind of farming, but this is one of Queenie's best champions. He's going to finish up their clear, and they're actually going to start this Dragon. They have a lot of damage built in, and there's really no one in the area to contest this, so no stolen first Drake. So we won't see that bit of deja vu come through.
I saw the 1 HP. It could have been just kind of funny if Hydra was trying to do something, but no. This time they will get the first dragon, but I don't know. They're already in 2k gold deficit this early into the game, and I just don't know how they will take themselves out of this one. Just because of this, we might get a listen in, see how the comms are from the teams. Okay. I think they're just being a little quiet. Sorry for the awkward moment there. But maybe they're just chilling that much that they're just not talking.
Realize they're double long
They're just saying
now, so
just chilling. You
Listening
might
on
get
that,
a
he's
listen.
96,
kind of
I'm pretty
fucking
far away.
strong.
I think our all-in potential is
There's
pretty
some sort of
powerful here.
backup.
That does not fucking hit me.
Okay, I'm just. Oh. I'm just gonna look top. I can eat the ulti because I have ulti to stall it.
Get a play
Knocked.
up top as well.
Shield's about to run out.
Yeah. I mean, great palms there for the gank. And you're still getting the comms as well. Almost as if you're streaming that. It's almost as if you're able to watch two streams at the same time, only in CCS, ladies and gentlemen. And we see play down in the bot side, Maddie. Oh, great follow from Walter.
The curtain call goes perfectly. They land every single shot. Could not go much better. And that was actually the ultimate coming out from the Galio, which means that Galio's now down here on the bot side, and that is going to give Yone the opportunity to close the gap a little bit that grew after being pulled away from lane a couple of times. Doesn't stop too much though, as Galio's able to get that wave clear. And now it actually looks like we might even just get an outright lane swap, as Jinx is going to be making their way up more towards the top side.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I would be surprised. Yeah, they're looking for the plate, but like, I mean, you don't have the Kane ult. You know that Mordekaiser didn't ulti last time. It's like an overplay from the top jungle. I mean, Espada might have something to do, but Yeah, there's nothing, so we will run the replay now since everything should be calmed down on the map. And I think this was a great play from Water, expecting Maddie's flash, follows the flash with his W. Even the Galli ulti doesn't save him, and they do get a kill onto Angel. A much needed gold, much needed tempo that they need if they want to get back into this series. The early game has been all Hydra up until now, but great responses coming from the Rush side.
Yeah, notably that does help. It closes the gap to just about 1,000 gold, so that does help close that gap a little bit. But I believe we are going to get another
Immediately blow his
listen
flash
here.
with R whenever though.
I mean,
Does
great
mid have
comms.
R?
What I like
Or
about
I know
this,
he
they're
just
talking a
snapped,
lot
but-
about
He
the
ulted
songs.
me when Zyra came, so it's
Yeah,
probably
okay.
backup.
Ow. I'm just gonna clear this control word for you, buddy.
Which
Maokai's
they have.
missing. Could be.
But yeah, I mean, when we look overall on the map, still no first items yet on the Hydra side, but Angel able to pick up the Hubris for himself. No boots yet, but I mean, the earlier you finish the Hubris, the better it is. The more kills you get,
Yeah.
will scale pretty good into the game. On the other side, this Jinx is still a bit far off from their first item, which I'm assuming to be Exaltants.
Yeah, notably, Jinx also just a little bit behind in CS. Meanwhile, we have over the top side Kuzu getting a little bit low there, but is continuing to take the fight. Pops the passive of Kuzu, but it does not matter. Sutek is here, and this time around, there's no ult to protect them, and that is actually going to be Sutek to get the kill. Is going to be a nice chunk of change into their pocket. It's going to help that top lane continue their run of dominance, but it might come at the cost of this Drake, as they know that the jungler's on top side, which means this Drake pit is open and available to get the Drake taken, and they're going to start it without too much issue, and there's not going to be another moment said for Hydra as they give over 2 Drakes now.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a bit more expected with the draft that they have. They don't have the mid lane prio in this game. The bot lane, yes, you're playing double range, but Maddie hasn't been able to get a lead, so you're still not that advantageous. Most of your lead is coming from the kills on your Kane plus the Ornn, but this
Ooh.
Kane is transformed.
Okay,
Great
going in.
knockup.
That's a
Great
huge Bard ult that finds 2, but the Maokai ultimate in response to try to deny them. Ooh, root it down. That is going to be massive with the curtain call. 4th shot goes wide. None of the shots particularly land, and now we're having to see the back away from Hydra as they're taking a lot of damage during that skirmish, but that is going to be a none for none as Kuzu continues to put pressure on a spot up on the top side.
Yeah, I mean, it was great from Walter to use his ultimate to create a safety zone for his teammates. Obviously, if you're Angel, you want to land those ultimates because I'm pretty sure he would have been able to get one, but he still picks up a kill onto Maddie. Sutek, there's a lot of traps that will slow him down. Oh, there's a full
It's a minefield.
minefield. Yeah, exactly, and he's not going to be able to get anything. We see Queenie also hovering. Haven't really done much as far as ganks go, but able to pick up the dragons. They're just focusing on clearing it effectively. But Angel is a little bit
Yeah.
overstayed. I mean, Sutek
Yeah.
has ult. Oh, great
Yeah,
stun!
there's no minefield to protect
Whatever
them this
flash.
time either, as that is a double kill that is just handed over to Sutek as they do not leave the area and they clean them up. Sutek on the Kane now 4-1-2. We're seeing a very, very reminiscent of game 1 where the top side, jungle and top, are just becoming a massive problem as we see that replay. Yeah, Sutek just says, hey, they're already low. They're still in the area. I'm just going to come back down and see if I can clean up. And he absolutely does.
Exactly, and this is the annoying part of Kane. Like Wukong, the Wukong just has so much mobility to get onto you and stick to you. Kane, bro, just does not care about being sticky. He just runs through the wall, jumps on you. especially especially with the voltaic sword. We might even get another listen in maybe on the rush side this time around. See what they're thinking about, what their comms are, especially being down gold, down the game.
Okay, I have to walk here, I think, if they're fighting for it.
I
No?
don't think you do. You're good. You're good. You're good. If you can pressure by, it's really good. I think you guys could.
They're
Ellie was like
probably
here.
calming around if they wanna contest this Herald play maybe. Or
If you're able to
they're
land a
just
little
not
bit of damage, I
talking
think we
too
can kill
much.
them.
Saving mental.
Change his butt. Change his butt.
Yeah. But
Yeah, we can just keep. We can just fight this. Again,
looks
we're
like they're just okay with
Yeah.
the game
fine.
for the time
just
being.
group
They
and fight
will have the
this.
Yone
As long as
scaling,
we're-
so
we're-
Mark
we're-
treads.
top,
Mark
we're
treads on that
not
guy.
talking about a game that's going too bad.
pretty far behind
There's
right
a
now.
play
I mean,
happening.
I meant like if you can keep him up.
Okay, massive play coming through here. A lot of damage as a double stun comes through, but Queenie is in the area. Rooted down. Curtain call comes through. Maddie's handbag having to duck, dodge, and weave to not get hit. Fourth shot still left
Oh.
standing. None of them find a target, and now very awkward position up towards the Drake fight. There is a little bit of a skirmish between the two mid laners that forces the mid laner of Hydra away, meaning they're not able to get down to assist the rest of the team, which puts them in a very awkward spot here. A lot of low health bars, and Rutledge is roaming around in their jungle. They have to play this carefully.
Yeah. It's just, I think the nature of how the bot lane matchup is, like you have a really strong Bard, but this Jinx is actually kind enough that in these fights the Jhin is able to provide a little bit more. If Angel gets a little bit higher accuracy on these ults, I think Rush is getting really close to getting some good fights. They just need to be a little bit more careful with how they take these, but
We
Walter
just need to just reset it.
might be caught out.
dead.
Sutek
We can fight after.
play.
They have to burn anything.
Great interrupting, might not be dead. Oh, great stun again
Flash
from
on Kane.
Maddie. Maddie's handbag. And they just need to be careful.
Galio's there.
I think for sure we can fight this. By the way, like I'm in a really good spot.
I can look
The
for. I'm
wall.
gonna look for.
Get another listen in.
We can even just wait for Jhin to get back though. I mean, I think we have a good timer for a while.
I'm just gonna lock like the top laner
They
now.
realize that they still have
We can't really interact.
timer
Take a base angel.
for each other. Obviously the Jinx wasn't in the best spot to take a fight
I'm
here.
walking mid here, and we can walk here.
Um,
My ult's back
they
up, so we can
decide to
control the
fight
river.
it.
Start this or I'm still top.
Yeah, start it.
Hoping you know.
Cooldowns
I have-
for that fight, especially the Kane ulti
I pulled out.
means Kane doesn't have the safety
Go for the
of his
Kane on the
ultimate.
arm ward.
They have a TP coming down from bot side. I mean, a 50-50 is definitely hard. Great ulti coming from Espada. It's ulted by Kuzu.
Yeah, a lot of investment. Curtain call coming through. Rooted up. BKB just can't do anything as they are just moth to a flame, stuck in one spot. Red team is able to secure the Drake.
reset.
That's 3 for them, but the cleanup here possibility is in effect for them as well, as they are just ripping apart Hydra. They are saying no more. Maddie having a duck dodge and weave away, but low on health, low on time, and I don't think this turret's gonna save them. Angel finds the one. Can they find handbag too? The turret is targeting
Oh, no!
the Maokai. They
They're
get
just
too greedy.
They're just dying to the turret. Oh my god. I mean, at least one of them is an execute, but that was not the best look. The Bard stands victorious. Maddie's handbag, he must be just the GOAT, actually. I'll put between these two games, but we do get the replay, and it's like a really split fight from the side of XSV Hydra, and I think Sutek tried to go for the kill on the dragon, but as soon as he was looking to smite, the dragon started resetting, so the smite actually wasn't enough, and then Rush was able to grab the dragon, and which puts them actually in the soul point. Like, even though this part looked scuffed, like, it is what it is. The Volter gets executed, Angel dies, but the kill goes to the Bard. I think you're just okay with that at the end of the day. Obviously, you would rather just not die, but it is what it is. They do get the dragon, which was the more important objective of that fight. And the gold lead is pretty much cut even. Sutek looking for a play in the top side. Queenie 1 HP. This Ornult might get a double kill, and it will.
Orin says, I'm coming to town, and finds 2 off the back of the ultimate. That is massive for them. It's also going to get that top tier 1, I believe. Big play for them. There is a Rift Herald to possibly play for. I can imagine that they might just go for this quick clear, and we could see a little bit more of that fight. Really good engage from
Great
Sutek.
fight, Sutek.
Finds the 2, goes in on the ultimate onto Queenie, gets that health bar nice and low. And Mary's handbag does do a little bit of damage, but it does not matter when Espada drops the train and just clears shop. We do see the Rutledge ult coming through. Does not quite land onto the Ornn. There's a lot of gap close potential here from the Yone. Hokai getting caught in, knocked up. There's a double fight going through, and Rutledge is able to find that pick, but their teammate falls down on mid. No more support to play around, and there are 3 members towards this mid lane trying to see if they can get the wave to crash. Going to be unable to do so, but at least it's a 1-for-1 across the map as Baron Nashor takes the rift.
Yeah, just too much MR on Espada. Doesn't really have any answer to this Yone with the Blade of the Ruined King completed. I mean, once he finishes the Randuin's, which is the item I'm assuming he's going for, he will be in an okay spot. Rutledge might have just been looking for a bit too much. I think Sutek has ulti, so he will be fine. And Rutledge does go down again.
Yep, that is just going to be a nice, clean ult fight win. Sutek continuing to put more kills on the board. Both the top and the jungler now at 5 kills up top. It really is the tale of the top side versus the bottom side, as this Jhin is a big problem for Hydra. Meanwhile, the Ornn and the Kayn are the big problems for Rush. We do have Drake in about 1:14 seconds, so that is going to be the next big objective to really play for. Rift Herald not secured by either team, so now it is just Baron and it's just Drake's everything to play for, especially as we have Rush already on soul point. So every Drake is important here for Hydra.
Yeah. I'm really interested in how Rush is going to take this next fight because, I mean, I tried to mention it before the game started. Like, yes, you are in an okay spot right now, but you don't really have a lot of backline access. And regardless of this lead that this Jhin has, like, Jinx got an Ornn upgrade. You were just looking at, like, a Jinx with 2 items and a BF sword. So, oh, and Rutledge just dies.
That is a
just be
3v1.
the dragon. Yeah, that might just be the dragon. Like, great play on the side. Gets a pick. They get a pick on Rutledge, and pretty crucial death timer. Like, he's not going to be up, and even if he's up, he's not going to have the TP. So there will be a timer for Hydra to get some setup here.
Is there a world where they take the fight anyway? Galio is still sitting. They could pincer down from mid lane. They do have this fight. Kuzu's just going to die, even in the death realm. There's
He's
not
doing any damage. He's not doing any damage to that Ornn.
Nothing. Oh, big engage coming through. The right entrance here from the Galio. Taunted. That is going to be devastating. Meanwhile, that skirmish up on the top side is going to keep going. Valter deep behind enemy lines. Could be a nuisance in the interim. Maddie trying to find that pick. Meanwhile, Sutek is on a killing spree. But look how low the health bars are. Maddie desperately needs to get out of dodge, will not be able to. We see the Jhin continue to put down damage, and this topside fight did not go the way we expected. This has kind of collapsed for Hydra all across the rift, and now Sutek is just staying in this area, maybe looking for a potential steal, but no. The entirety of Rush say this is not a good opportunity for us. We're just going to go and take the advantage that we just got off of that massive team fight win.
Yeah, I think they just tried to walk up a bit too much. Like, the initial fight didn't look bad, but you're trying to walk into a Zyra that, like, this Zyra hasn't been really taken out of the game. Like, she's been able to farm. I mean, a great look here, good knockup lands, good stun lands, and then we go back to live, and I mean, Sutek will be able to heal back up a little bit. Rutledge probably will go down here to BKP. I mean, the longer this game goes, it's just, I don't know. Rutledge is just getting caught too much.
Big double airborne. Kuzu gets low, taunted up, has to get away alive, but will not be able to. That Bard ultimate is also going to keep 2 members in. Queenie has nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. We do see the Ornn ultimate come through. It does not land onto the Maokai, who drops that ultimate deep into the backline, but it does not particularly matter. Angel is gone. Not long for the world either, and that is a huge bounce back fight as Hydra are able to practically clean up the entirety of Rush, and they get their first Drake of this map. I mean, they've done a good job, and that makes their gold lead now, which was practically non-existent before that fight, turns it into about a 5.5k gold lead into their favor now. Just Walter left to try to defend anything. Meanwhile, we are going to see the Baron start, and there's no vision. They might not expect this.
Yeah, I mean, I also think, like, for the side of Rush, I think if you're going to win some fights, you're going to need some pan. Like, we can see that this Jhin is already building towards an LDR, but I think a Bloodletter's Curse is definitely needed either from Kuni or Kuzu, because, like, your 2 AP damage dealers are just not even making a dent on this Ornn with the Force of Nature, with the upgraded Chaotic Rooker, and with the Mercurial Treads. So, I mean, Espada kind of similar performance to game 1, just an absolute unit on the weak side tank that he was able to, I don't even know if I can say weak side. I mean, he was a strong side Ornn this game, and Sutek, he got himself ahead, he got Sutek ahead with the ganks that he set up in his lane, and those two have been pretty much the force behind this XSV Hydra squad that is looking to sweep this series. We will see how the comms are looking on the right side.
Or just commit to a side, right? So then he's denied from running.
Seems like they're looking to commit to a side.
I mean, I can be bot, like I said, as long as I'm not like 1v3.
Can we look here? I can just ult.
For an ulti. No flash on Maddie. Ulti Vivs. Great play from Walter.
I got Jinx. I got Jinx.
But Maddie just got pulled. Great play, double kill for Angel. I think even BKP might be going down here. The Ornn ulti comes from the side, triple kill. I mean, is this like a hint to get back into the game for Angel? I don't know if he
plays here.
Sutek
Yone's here.
into his ult. Yo, Angel, you might want to be careful.
Nice, good
That
job.
Ornn
Nice out, nice out, nice
is
out.
mighty.
Care for Jhin.
But they do stop the Baron
He did.
push that Hydra was looking to do. Which is going. I don't know if the side of Hydra can really defend this
they all
one.
are.
Great play from Walter though.
I'm
It
2
really
seconds,
heads
and
up.
I'm
No
up.
flash on Maddie. Punishes it really well with his ultimate, and then catches him off guard, pushes him back in. Kuzu grabs him in his ult. I don't even know how Angel got the kill, to be honest, but hey, you never mind some kills on your ADC. Oh, Sutek.
Sutek gonna try to do, ooh, massive execute from the rocket coming through. That is going to be a Bard ultimate, immediately rooted out, stunned up. Queenie's gonna fall, double kill over to the Jinx, who's coming alive. They're gonna continue to chase down Walter, who might not be able to get away. No, they won't.
Right.
Very luckily there, they do not have the location of, I think that was Rutledge. Oh, excuse me, no, that was Kuzu, or else Kuzu would have been not long for this world either, as the bounce back spot. Maddie coming alive on the Jinx, finds a triple, and now suddenly, that was a really good fight for Rush, and now they're on the back foot once more as they are pushing through with these powered up Baron minions.
Yeah, I mean, those were the last few seconds off the Baron. Kuzu might be caught out. He's cutting from the side.
Leaving no room for an exit there. They're going to continue to have the man advantage, and despite being down on Drakes, they are doing really darn good to close the gap. Espada does have to be careful though, as Rutledge is targeting them, and we know that that fight does not go the way of the Ornn. Espada having to flash over the wall. Curtain call comes through as the rest of the team now looks to the left, where they leave Maddie, who is low, to just deal with the turret. They have to rely on other forms of damage. Sutek using the ultimate. Oh, but that pullback is at the worst possible time. So he gets back to his teammate. Malachi ultimate comes through, roots up multiple members, but most of them are tanky. Angel has to be careful, won't be able to get away. Walter
even be
just
game.
gets over the wall, and that is, in fact, going to be game as every member, bar Kuzu, is dead, and Kuzu just on the respawn will not be able to do much. Does get the ultimate onto Maddie, which is going to help. It's going to limit the damage, but I don't think they're going to be able to do enough as everyone else is going to be staggered out. They have the wave, they have the minions, they have the time. This should just be it. That is going to be game number 2, and the series secured by Hydra.
Damn, producer didn't even let us watch the Nexus flow. But hey, it is fine. I mean, a really well played game overall. I think well played 2 games overall from the side of Hydra. I think both games were similar in the sense that they just knew what they wanted to do with their comp and just kind of outplayed the other laners. Like Sutek was always the more aggressive side of when it came to the junglers, always always looking for the proactive plays, blowing flashes in game 1, game 2, always looking to punish Kuzu on the top side when he didn't have ultimate. And Espada, I think he just had an absolutely incredible series. You don't normally see the tank player have this much impact in these games, but he definitely made a statement, said, hey, it doesn't matter what I'm playing, I'm still the carry of this team. So we will probably have an interview. We'll throw it to a short break on, and we will be back with the interviewee.
Alrighty, everyone, we are back for our interview, and we've got the ADC of the winning roster, Maddie. And I mean, Maddie, our first, just base question of how do you feel, specifically, how do you feel to win the XSV Civil War, and how do you feel to be the only undefeated team left this split so far?
Feels great. I have never lost an XSV Civil War. I've been quite a few of them so far. I'm never going to lose one. It's very hard to lose games when you have BKP. So I'll be undefeated for the rest of the season. No problem.
I mean, yeah, great. I think I had a couple questions. I mean, obviously, I think you guys have a specific way that you guys like drafting. Is it just like, is this how you guys just kind of play as a team, or is just like it just worked out against them in game 1, so we want to keep the same like tank top, AD jungler that can gank, and then just like a scaling bot lane? Is this like your comfort zone as a team?
I think, I mean, I played the same way. I played in comp for over a year now, maybe 2, like at least as an AD carry, like very consistently at the higher level of D4. I play the same way with the same team comps. It very rarely deviates. If you just look at the drafts of all of
Yeah.
my teams, they're always gonna be the same. But I think truthfully, like we could play whatever, and it really wouldn't matter because my team is just so much better than every other team in this group. So it really doesn't matter what we pick.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we as the casters, and I'm assuming a lot of the viewers also felt the same way. You guys had control of the games all around. I mean, you said you guys are looking to probably finish the season undefeated, but has there been anyone that kind of gave you more issue than whatnot? Because I think for a lot of us, we were expecting this XSV Civil War to be the closest series that you guys were gonna have, but me personally, I wouldn't call that a close series. So
I think the only series that'll be close is is gonna be Sin because we picked Sin in the cross group. I'm pretty sure. I think I'd have to look at schedule, but otherwise, like I don't think. I mean, our group is really Mickey, so it doesn't
are there
really
any teams on
matter
the other
much.
group that like is maybe you getting you to like, oh, this team would be like interesting to play against in
Oh, it
Group
is.
A?
So it is Sin in the last week is who we're gonna end up playing against because we did pick them for a cross group, so that'll be
Yeah.
cool. And then I mean, from Group A, I'd love to play against Theory because I like to play against. I want to play against Gexy. That's my boy. The only team in that group that's actually probably gonna give us a run for our money or is any good is Iota. So
I see.
Hey. Alrighty. Well, I mean, last question before. I just always the last question I end with because I always love to sprinkle a little bit of drama if I can, heighten the tension a little bit. So I'm just gonna leave the floor open for you. You are more than welcome to shout out whoever you like to shout out. If you want to call someone out, you can always call someone out. I know you already said who you'd like to play, but if you're looking forward to a specific matchup for with a specific player, we always love a call out to make games interesting.
yeah, I mean it's my callouts are always or my shoutouts are always the same. It's Slave Cax and Yuki, which are my boys, but my calling people out. I just hope that I get to play Iota in the finals, or I play Rush in the finals. Those are the only 2 teams that are worth a shit in this league, in my opinion, that are going to be fun to play. Also, thank you, Volter. I told you were going to int, and you inted, so easy game.
I mean,
Also,
he is
well,
off roll.
No, no, he played a whole split support, 1 split ago. Now we're back. He was top
uh,
3. He's better than Lave, or Maddie's handbag, as his name is right now.
Oh.
So, shout out Chelsea. Very good power
well,
rankings on supports there, brother.
well, thank you so much for joining. We look forward to seeing how the rest of the split shakes out for you and the rest of the team. But that is going to be pretty much all we've got for you tonight. Crawl, any final thoughts before we send it home for the night?
I mean, it was a great cast. Shout out to our producers and the observers, Mr. Fantastic and Romeo, that was here with us. And yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed our cast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, you could check us out same time, same place next week. And again, this was just week number 3. It's only going to get more intense as we go through the week, so you won't want to miss a second of it. We'll see you next week. Have a good night, everyone.